Hello and welcome to my introduction of Norse mythology. So Norse mythology can be seen or hinted at throughout today's culture, especially in movies, TVs, books, and even video games. So sometimes they're taking names, places, and people straight from the myths and the tales, so it can be easily identifiable, but other times they're just taking themes or they're altering names. So it's a little more difficult to distinguish that these are, in fact, themes or myths or tales coming from Norse mythology. Some movies, TV shows, or books you may be familiar with are The Last Kingdom, Vikings, Avengers, Norse Mythology, Ragnarok, Valhalla, and The Almighty Johnsons. Some video games that come to mind that are either heavily based on or straight from Norse mythology are the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla game that's coming out. There's God of War, Northgard, Jotun, and Valkyrie Profile. So first things first, what is Norse mythology? It was referred to as tradition or custom to those who practiced it during their time. Those who practiced it were the Vikings and the Germanic people. After the arrival of Christianity, those who practiced paganism were referred to as either pagans or heathens. So first, who are the Vikings? Well, the Viking age was from around 790 to 1100 CE, and the Vikings spent their days exploring the seas, trading, and even pillaging. They came mainly from Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Denmark. And they traveled pretty far from their home territory, going as far as the Middle East or even crossing the ocean and getting to North America before Christopher Columbus. The Germanic people hail from Scandinavia, Iceland, the British Isles, Northern Europe, and they shared a common worldview with the Norse. Unfortunately, not many accounts of Norse mythology survived their original time, so most of what we know comes from the Poetic Edda and Prose Edda. Those are both collections of texts that were found or passed down. So both of these were written in a time when the Norse areas were being Christianized, so it can be difficult to tell what parts are true to Norse mythology and what parts have been influenced by the Christian ideology. A lot of what I'm specifically referencing in what I've collected is going to be from the Poetic Edda as it was translated by Jackson Crawford. It's something I highly recommend everyone reading. It's really easy to read and there's intros to each of the different texts, so you never feel like you're lost. Then there's the Prose Edda written by Snorri Sturluson, and the Prose Edda is built upon the Poetic Edda, and it also has additional lost literature. It's more highly criticized because it seems to weave in Snorri's own assumptions and Christian ideology. And that's something I'll point out when we get to it in the tales so that you can see how maybe that Christian influence, as it was written after the times when Christianity had already overtaken the Norse areas, you can see how that was kind of weaved in and maybe overtook how it was originally written. At the cornerstone of Norse mythology are tales, which are used to provide an explanation for the world and why things happen, as well as provide a way to see the world, who we are, and what role we play in the world. It's actually interesting because some people still use these tales today, and it really shows their ability to stand the test of time. The rest of the videos will talk in depth about a couple of things first. So the first is going to be the main gods and who they were, and the other is going to be the cosmology of the Norse world and the significance of various places. We'll then use the knowledge of the people and places previously discussed to go through several of the most important tales that the Norse used to explain their world and guide their lives. That's it for now, and in the next video we'll talk about the gods of one of the two tribes of gods, the Aesir. So I'll see you then. No.